And we're back on another edition of City Beat TV magazine podcast. And today we have the splendid pleasure to talk to a wonderful young lady who's been in the music industry and business for a very long time and has done some extraordinary things in it. And her name is Marlo. And Marlo Martin Jackson, I want to thank you for taking this opportunity to be with us. And
my pleasure.
All right. Been in this business for so long and done so many miraculous things and got a few firsts in front of your name as well. So I just want to know if you can just tell our audience a little bit about yourself, how you got into the music business, because I really would like to know what is you actually have a title for what you do. There are, I'm sure there's a couple of them, but you run your own company, and just tell us about what it is that you actually do.
Well, my main focus is radio promotions. I started off, I'm a Hartford Connecticut native. Started at Trinity College at WRTC 89.3, who gave me a show my freshman year. I started off doing jazz. Okay. Which I enjoyed on Friday mornings. And then I segued into Thought Power, which was urban and hip hop, R&B, reggae. So it was nice. We got to play a lot of different genres of the urban realm. And then I thought I wanted to be a teacher after I graduated. So I moved to New York and went to Teachers College at Columbia University, and I hated it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not for me. And I was interning at Stepson. Do you remember Stepson with Bill Stephanie?
I do.
Had Miss Jones and Motion Man, Double Neck Brothers. G-Man Holt, Glenn G-Man Holt, bless his soul, rest in peace, Glenn. He gave me my internship, and then I segued to Mercury Records, where I was Garnett March's assistant, and then Garnett left to go to Interscope, and Michael Johnson hired me as his college promotions manager. And then I segued into doing Make Show. Then I went to Relativity Records with Link. The Beat Nuts, Mo Thugs. So a lot of artists on Relativity. And then I segued to G Street. Where I also headed the street team and did radio promo. And I was on the road a lot with Olu. Do you remember Olu? He was an R&B singer.
Yeah.
It was like we would come home for a couple days and then go right back out.
Wow.
But it was good because I got to meet a lot of programmers in the South, and it was a good experience. And Olu was a pleasure to work with.
I bet he was.
Yeah, he was great.
That's right.
And and then I segued to Arista Records. So that was a fun ride. A lot of records with Bad Boy and LaFace, and and I was reunited with Michael Johnson again. And then after J-Corps, I moved to Cleveland. Because my husband and I, George G-Spot Jackson, we got married. We were set to get married September 20th in Vegas of 2001. So it was 9 days after 9/11. And we're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So we just went through with it, and I moved to Cleveland. So I was the the Ohio Valley Regional for Koch. Before they became E1. And then later, I was the Midwest and West Coast Regional for Kedar. So I got to work with Joe, Chico DeBarge, and now just doing different projects for Double M. Like I'm working Uncle Win, which is Southern Soul, Chef Sean, which you might remember him from Jason's Lyric. He was Little Jason in Jason's Lyric. Yep. Yep, Chef Sean. He's from Chicago, where we are now. And still working with Force MDs, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And on the gospel side, I'm working with John Player. He has a song coming out. It's Gonna Get Better, which is very encouraging for these times. And Apostle Tracy, she's based on the West Coast. So yeah, still busy. So I'm thankful. And of course, house music too, working my husband's projects. He's got a lot of stuff. Yeah. He just did a song, gospel house music. He did a remix with S3 featuring Paul Smith.
What are the things that really keep you up most at night as you work your business?
Just making sure everything's on point. Because you're right, like sometimes something will hit you like, oh, I gotta call so-and-so, or I need to send this, or let me follow up on this. Yeah, it's like, it's not your traditional 9 to 5. Because you have people overseas or people on the West Coast, or yeah, it's like your brain is always working.
You have such a wide variety of clients. Like you said, it could, hot R&B, house, gospel. Is there any way that you approach one particular genre of artist different than you would another one in terms of, obviously, I mean, you're talking to different radio people or different publications or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the conversation will, deter in those respects. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there like a common denominator, or do you have to have a hat that like swivels and say, okay, it's time to go this way, it's time to go that way?
There, as far as working the product, it's pretty much the same. Like the end of the day, it's all about the music.
Okay.
And sometimes, it's, hey, can you please, just give it a try. Right. Let's see how your listeners, or viewers like it. Just give it a shot. So, and like you were saying, relationships. So, yeah.
So I tell you, matter of fact, I'm getting ready to add a record today. I didn't know you were working him actually, and that's Uncle Win. Like
with Uncle Win, I love the Staples singers. Mavis Staples is one of my favorites. So I'm like, let's do it again, okay? And when I heard it, I was blown away because he did such a good job with his twist, his rendition of it. And we were on a conference call last week, and we're like, this is cookout music. This is, Southern soul, smooth R&B, grown folks music. So yeah, he's a pleasure to work with.
Something that's very important in this industry, that you kind of alluded to it, relationships and networking. And that is, you've had the opportunity with guests to been at every record or music convention there is on the planet. You can speak on in terms of the value of being at such conferences.
Mm-hmm. It was valuable just to network with people, like someone you may have been talking to for months from Texas, and you finally get to meet them in person. Sometimes you don't click with people until you meet in person. Okay. Yeah. And just to see the new talent or veteran artists that you've known or grew up on and just admired for years, you're like, oh my goodness, that's Ron Isley, or, it's amazing.
Is there anything that's burning that you say, okay, that fits, let's do this label. I got control of the artists that I'm working with now. Do you have room for anything else at the moment, or do you always have room?
I'm like, one day at a time.
Right.
One day at a time. I'm excited. Yeah. For the label and to see where we can go as far as like one of my goals is to have a song or songs featured in film or TV, that space.
How can somebody just find out more about you online, just to know what you do, and maybe they might need some service? How can they contact you?
They can go to the website. It's doubleDoublement.com, and it has all the links to my social media.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Last thing I want to ask you is, what, if there is one, your most memorable experience in what you've done, whether it's been with an artist, whether it's been in a recording studio, whether it's been at a concert, whether it's been backstage, whether it's just been walking down the street, is there anything that really sticks out in your mind that you say, wow, nobody's gonna go believe this?
Just like the little things, like just thank you, or I enjoy working with you, and you don't play. Thanks for taking care of me. I appreciate that. And it could be while we're together, or it could be years down the road. Like, it means a lot. I think sometimes people don't realize it's hard being an artist.
Recording albums, one thing. I mean, recording one record is one thing in and of itself. Right. Never mind an album. But that's just the beginning. Once you even get it mastered and produced, now you got to market and promote it. How do you get airplay?
That's a good thing you brought up, because sometimes people have put so much of their budget into the recording that they forget, oh yeah, I have to market it. I need a publicist, and I need this, I need that. And
that's what Double M Entertainment comes in.
Right.
Marlo, thank you for joining us here, and I wish you the best of luck going forward with Double M Entertainment and the new house music label.
Thank you.
Hope you allow us to talk to you again sometime in the near future.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
George. Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it. Until next time, have a good evening, and we'll talk to you again on another edition of CB TV.